Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're here to look at two supporting performances for Hurt, a Diamond Classic Hall of Fame inductee. And these are the only two other performances that I can find of Angelina. As you can see, there's Boris Palenovski provided one, and Angelina Jordan Fanclub Mosarz provided the other one. And it says on the first one that she was 7 years old, and on the second one, I believe she was 6 years old. So let us go ahead and watch these. Okay, I gotta say something about that one. Wet eyes again. I guess it's good I don't have to buy those. I guess some people have dry eyes. Mine are never dry, okay? They're always wet, especially when I'm doing Angelina Jordan's videos of Angelina Jordan. She just brings out the emotion in me, and I thank her for that, because for many years I was a comedian, not a professional one. An amateur one, and I you know what they say about the tears of a clown, right? I didn't really express a lot of emotion other than trying to be funny, and the other thing I would try to be on the occasions that it called for was to be stoic. Funerals and sad events, I would try to be the rock in the room. So anyway, there's that performance I mean, you tell me. That belongs in the Hall of Fame too, and it'll probably get there one of these days. Okay, not today. I already put the other one in. I can't do all just that. And as we know, nearly every, I think maybe every video that Angelina's done, or performance, or practice, or whatever it might be, rehearsal, they could all go in there for various reasons. But this one here, this is her first, according to the literature, her first performance. This one on the left, and this other one's rehearsal for that performance. And you'll notice she has, most everybody I'm sure will notice and start jumping up and down, she has shoes on. Angelina, how could you have shoes on? Well, I'll tell you how she could have shoes on. I think this is before, it may not be before she went on the trip where she met the girl with no shoes, but I'm pretty sure that from reading her book, that she made that mental commitment to not wear shoes while performing sometime after that meeting with that the young lady. I think her name was Princess, right? Is that what I remember from the book? And I don't think Angelina immediately that day that she met the young lady, I'm going to call her Princess, whether she is or not, and I don't think she immediately went out and said, I'm never going to wear shoes when I perform again. I think it evolved into that from that meeting, and it may have taken a little bit of time. This is my interpretation from reading her book, Between Two Hearts. So that would explain the shoes. And since then, she doesn't wear shoes while she's performing. She wears them during rehearsals and practices and, walking around the street like everybody else. Now, lately, in the last probably a couple of years, there have been a couple of occasions where Angelina had shoes on while performing, and I think I'm going to defend Angelina. Okay, there could be occasions where she would have to wear shoes because of the condition of the stage that she's on, for example. There's also could be health code requirements. I know most of the places in the United States here, you're not allowed to go into a restaurant or any kind of a business or club for the most part. You have to have on, shoes. It says right on the sign, no shoes, no shoes, no shirt, no service. You have to have those things on. So even though she's a performer, I mean, they have rules, right? And part of that is health rules. I don't know why it would bother anybody that somebody's feet's on your floor. If there's health issues with the floor, then the person without the shoes on is taking the risk, not you, right? So, but in any case, it doesn't matter why the rules are or what the sense of them are. There could be, if some establishment said, I know you're performing here tonight, but you have to wear shoes, otherwise the health code's going to shut us down. Then you got to wear shoes, right? You got to make an exception. But it's a rare thing to see her with shoes on. It does happen from time to time. We have seen her in her rehearsals with shoes on, but not performances as a rule. I think there's 2 videos where it appears that she may have shoes on. Actually, I don't think, and one of them, I think probably some kind of like a sandal or something she had on, and in the other one, you really couldn't tell, but it kind of looked like maybe. And but in either case, like I said, I'm defending my granddaughter I never had. That's Angelina, and there had to be a good reason, otherwise she wouldn't have her shoes on. You're not going to tell me that over 10 years of performing with no shoes for a reason, all of a sudden she forgot? Yeah, that didn't happen. There has to be a reason. So let's move on. Sorry to rant and rave about that, but I know I've seen a lot of comments from people saying she's got shoes on, she doesn't have shoes on, blah, 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 blah. And that's, I guess that's understandable, but sometimes I got to give the benefit of the doubt to Angelina because she said she wouldn't wear shoes when she performed until all the children on the planet had shoes or, that kind of thing. And by golly, she has most of the time, 99% of the time probably, she doesn't wear shoes. So I'm going to give her credit for standing by what she said she was going to do all that time. It's not just not for a year, not for a week, not for 2 years, 10 years, and a significant part of her total lifespan. So over 10 years, actually, about 12 years. So Okay, let us move on before I talk some more.
Seems like it was yesterday when I saw your face. You told me how proud you were, but I walked away. If only I know what I know today. Ooh, 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 ooh. I will hold you in my arms. I will take the plate away. Thank you for all you done, forgiving your mistakes. There's nothing I wanna do to hear your voice again. Sometimes I wanna call you.
I don't know what happened there, but something happened. Yeah, because not much stops Angelina from singing, I can tell you that. Even though this is early on in her musical career. Yeah, she's usually pretty immune to disturbances and distractions and so on. She seems to have figured out a way to handle all that mentally early on. So, yeah, so that's that. You know, here again, this we get to hear her a cappella. She's probably listened to the backing track or the sound, the music, in those headphones she's got on. But we're hearing her a cappella, and you know, she still has in that voice. She has passion, power. I'm gonna say love of music, love of singing, in both these performances. This is a rehearsal, but yeah, I mean, it's all there. At 6 or 7 years old, whatever it might be, you know, she has all that. I've said it before. I'll say it again. There are a lot of little kids that can sing really good, really good. However, I also believe that most of them have all kinds of training in how to sing. So they sing technically very well, and it's beautiful, but it doesn't have the full bodiness of an Angelina Jordan's version of singing it. Angelina's version contains way more stuff. Okay, stuff would be you can tell she loves to sing. That's you can see that, hear that in the song. She has a passion for the song. She seems to understand the song and the lyrics, even though most of the songs she sings are way above her years chronologically, where she hasn't had the experience of these things. But she's, you know, the best way to explain it is she's an extreme empath ever since birth. So she doesn't have to experience things to feel them. She can feel what others feel when they experience them. So there's that. Then you have what else you got there? You know, most 6-year-olds, you couldn't get them to go into on a stage or in a performing booth like that. They'd be crying. They wanted their mother, right? And but Angelina's right there, all by herself out there on the stage over here. You know, alone in the recording studio. I know Mom and Grandma and probably Uncle Mike are somewhere nearby, but they're not on the stage with you. So it's remarkable to me how we get to watch her progress as a singer, a performer, a public figure, even to a certain degree, and how she just handles everything with a certain ease and a grace and an elegance and an eloquence, you know, too, all that stuff, right? Now, I also think I can't leave the video without pointing this out. I don't know exactly what the situation is, but Angelina at this age lives in Norway, in Oslo, near Oslo somewhere. And she's Norwegian. And they have their own language called Norwegian language. And I'm assuming she must have been raised speaking that as her native tongue. However, you know, she has a very interesting family dynamic with all the different things that have gone on. Her grandma's Iranian. I think one of her grandpas might have been Japanese because they spent some time in Japan. I'm not sure how that all came about. I think I heard the story once, but I can't recall all the details. And so Angelina, I don't know if she's fluent in Japanese, but she can speak it a bit. She can read it. There's one song I did not long ago where she sang in Japanese, and she was reading it off a podium. I mean, how would you write in English or Norwegian the characters of Japanese, because they're so much different? You know, how would you even write that in a different language? You know, that you could be able to say it in Japanese. You almost got to know it, right? So I was talking the lyrics, you know, the melody. I mean, the music I think is probably kind of universal in a way, but you know, the notes, the musical notes, but the lyrics aren't. So, not her first language, probably not. I understand they probably learn some English, maybe even in school, but it's still not their first language, it's their second language. Oftentimes we've heard Angelina in these videos at various ages, especially when she's younger, when she speaks to somebody, she speaks in Norwegian typically. And then when she goes to interviews, when they're speaking English, you'll notice she speaks very deliberately and very slow. She listens very carefully to what she's asked, and then she gives a very intelligent and concise answer to most of the questions that she gets asked. And unlike a lot of people, she actually answers the question. A lot of people dodge answers to questions, especially, well, no, let's not get into it. So, yeah, so that's a couple of things there. And just things of note, 6 years old, 7 years old, either one. It's just amazing what she can do. And I still just get hung up on the fact it's not the notes, it's not the melody, it's not the tune, it's everything else that she brings to the table. Because there are others that can bring other, you know, beautiful music to the table. But do they bring their passion for the song? The content, the meaning of the song? Do they bring that? I think in most cases that's going to be very rare to find in little kids. I think maybe even in a lot of adults, honestly. So they, you know, most of them are singing. No, scratch that. Some sing for. They write their own songs. They have passion for their songs. Granted, that's when you write your own song, you certainly must have some passion for the song, I would think. People that sing other people's songs, it's got to be a little difficult to put yourself in their shoes in order to be able to interpret the song the way you believe it was written and what it was intended to mean. That's not the easiest thing to do, I don't think. But Angelina seems to have a real knack for it, I can tell you that. Okay, Steve, if you don't stop talking, yeah, I hear you. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. I tried a little bit of a colorful background this time. I don't know if that's enjoyable or not, but I think it's kind of cool looking at it. So we'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.